Jake Paul reportedly accepted an offer from PFL to get a rematch with Nate Diaz in a cage. Now, let's be honest here. Jake Paul doesn't have a single chance to beat Nate Diaz in a cage. He's never thrown an elbow. He's never thrown a kick. He doesn't know how to grapple. And let's be honest here, he's not used to getting hit with 4-ounce gloves. So everything will be new for Jake Paul. Now, for Nate Diaz, this is nothing. This is a walk in the park for Nate Diaz. He has way more experience in the cage. He also has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Now, although Nate Diaz has not been active in the cage, I mean, his last fight was against Tony Ferguson, in which he made him tap in round 4. So it's clearly that Nate Diaz is going to absolutely dominate Jake Paul in this fight.
Now, this fight could happen, and if it does happen, Jake Paul said it will be done by PFL in a smart cage, which is a circular cage. Now, the other interesting thing that Jake Paul said is that he knows this fight will be a stand-up fight, and if it is, he thinks he will win because he thinks that Nate Diaz can't hurt him toe-to-toe because he's a boxer, and he also thinks that Nate Diaz can take him down.
I'm beating his ass standing up clear as day in boxing. He tries to get close to me, I can just stick and move. He tries to take me down. My takedown defense and takedowns are better than his. He's not going to be able to take me down. He's slow, so I'm going to see the shots coming. Boom, block the shots. He can't take me down to submit me. It becomes a standing match.
And Jake Paul seems to have a clear answer and clear blueprint on how the fight can go. You know, and to be honest, it all sounds right. He says that Nate Diaz can't hurt him without him seeing it coming or without him sticking and moving. And for the takedown defense, he thinks he has the takedown defense to avoid being taken down. And he also thinks that if anything, he has the takedown skills to take down Nate Diaz if he wants. Now, the only thing that Jake Paul states that he needs to watch out for is Nate Diaz's guillotine, because as he states, he has a very good guillotine.
I will just simply have to watch out for his guillotine, because he has a really good guillotine.
And we see Nate Diaz put Jake Paul in the guillotine in their boxing fight.
Fight for legacy. For the people that said he couldn't, Nate looks to lock up the guillotine there.
Now, in the end, Jake Paul seems very confident going into this MMA fight. And to be honest, I think he stands a chance. You know, he's younger, he's quicker, can last more. And as he states, he has some wrestling experience that Nate Diaz doesn't have. So regardless of Nate Diaz's experience, regardless of Nate Diaz's skills, I think he's too old. And I don't think he's active enough to be a young fighter like Jake Paul, who's hungry for the win.